Hi everybody, Dr. Joe Dispenza here. I want to take a moment and teach you some basic tools to begin to change your life. When you invest in yourself, you invest in your future. Number one, take some time out of your busy lives to disconnect from your world. Shut your cell phone off, turn the TV off, power down your computer, sit your body down for a few minutes and close your eyes. Number one. Number two, take some breaths and center yourself. When you center your attention into the present moment, you have more energy to create with. When your mind wanders to the predictable future or the familiar past, that's normal. Just become aware of it and keep working on settling yourself back down into the present moment. When you're in the present moment, you're the most creative. Number three, ask yourself, can I be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past? What do I want in my life? And take the time to answer the question. As you begin to contemplate and think about the answer to the question, you're changing your brain. When you make your brain fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, that's the beginning steps of changing your mind. Next, decide on the emotions you'll feel when you begin to create that future, and teach your body emotionally what that future is going to feel like. And don't get up until you begin to feel those emotions. Next step, step number four, rehearse in your mind who you're going to be when you open your eyes, the things you have to do, the choices you have to make, the steps you have to take, and review them over and over again. Number five, you can't go to the future holding on to the biology of your past. Decide what thoughts you can bring to your future. Write them down. Thoughts like, I can't, it's too hard, I'll never change, I'll start tomorrow, what's wrong with me, it's someone else's fault. Decide on what behaviors or actions or unconscious habits you have to change. How do you talk? Do you complain? Do you blame? Do you make excuses? Do you feel sorry for yourself? Just become so conscious of those behaviors that you'll never go unconscious again. And lastly, you have to decide what emotions no longer belong in your future. That means if you want to be wealthy, you can't take lack. If you want to be healthy, you can't take insecurity or fear. You got to begin to condition your body to a new mind. If you do this every single day, your personality creates your personal reality. And your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. Change any one of those things and you change your life. And begin to measure the effects of you it cause. Give it a shot.
In 2018, Dr. Joe in an event told us a story about a friend that manifested money. He manifested $500,000.
Right.
And he explained how he did it by putting a background in his phone with the amount that he wanted in his bank account. So I said, that could be easy to do. I know how to use Photoshop. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try it. So when I came back from the event, I went to my computer, started doing the Photoshop, and every night and every morning I saw my Photoshop and my screen with the amount that I wanted, felt the emotions, meditated about it, and every time I felt lack, I just changed it to abundance. So that went for a month. And my sister called me and told me that the house that we were selling for 5 years got sold, and each of us received $30,000. So I got very excited because that was the first time for 2 years that I had done something, because I always try to change my health, but I was like very conscious of it, so I had to do something that I wasn't paying attention a lot throughout the day. So money was one thing, that thing, but a day later or two, I said, that's not the unknown. Well, I thought that wasn't the unknown. I thought that doing the meditation and manifesting should come totally from the unknown. So I kept going. I also did my movie, and I put that I earned money while I was asleep, and that I have more than enough money to live. So after 2 months of doing that, a friend of a friend approached me and asked me if I wanted to invest money in his company, in stocks. So I said, yeah, let's see what happens. I wasn't attached to the money that I had. I was just seeing what would happen. And for 1 year or 1 year and a half, I started earning a lot of money with him. And I then realized that I had those things in my movies, that I earned money while I was asleep, and that I had more than enough. I could travel wherever I wanted, stay wherever I wanted, went to every event that I could of Dr. Joe's, and then again I said, that's not the unknown. I need something that comes from some place that I cannot explain how it came. So I did it again, every day meditating. Every time I felt like I stopped in that moment and felt the emotions of abundance, and 8 or 9 months later, I received mail from a company that I'd never heard before, that I had stocks in their company. So I said, that's not mine. Can you cancel that account, because I've never heard of you. I've never been in those kinds of working. I've never heard of them at all. So I asked them to cancel my account, and the only way that I could cancel the account, they told me, was withdrawing the money that I have with them. So thinking that it would be like $100 or $200, or I don't know, maybe $1,000. I said, okay, how much is it? So I could withdraw it and just close my account. The day after that, they called me and they said that I had $100,000 more or less in that account with my name. It was unexplainable. So I didn't believe it at first. When I called my financial friend, he helped me to withdraw the money, and even in that process, I didn't believe that it was going to arrive at my bank account. And for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, it was starting to come to my account. I was like, it's not. I don't need to work anymore. I now know that I can manifest money without working. It's crazy to believe that, but that's my story.
The November of 2017, I would say I hit my rock bottom. I had a relationship breakdown. Next day my accountant told me to go bankrupt, and then I got really sick with pharyngitis for a week, and I spent a week in bed thinking, what am I going to do? December in my business, I'm a caterer. I do lots of things, but catering is one of the things, and December was completely dead. I had no business coming in, and I had 2 choices. I can either go bankrupt and give everything up, or I need to try something different. And I've done a lot of personal development over the last 7 years. And my mum and dad sent me Becoming Supernatural for Christmas. So I started reading that over December, and then I downloaded the audiobook and listened to that in the car. And so last year was pretty amazing. And then I came to the retreat in October, and October was just a mind-blowing understanding the science behind what I was doing. And since October, my business has really turned around. I've got people in my business who I can trust, who are building the business for me. And the best thing is the opportunities coming from places that you wouldn't expect. So about, I think, 3 months ago, I had a phone call from a guy who I would never have even thought of contacting. One of my dreams is to cook around the world. I'm from England. I'd love to be able to go to England a couple of times a year. I love doing TV and cooking in front of people. So aside from having my business, I want to be traveling the world doing that. So that's one of the things that's been in my mind movies and that I've been wanting to manifest. So I had a phone call, can you come and cook in China in 3 weeks' time at a big appliance show? So I went to China, cooked in China. From that, I've been booked to cook in Berlin in September. Vegas is the next one. That's just one example. The main thing is I think my stress levels have dropped. I'm this floating possibility. I just love playing around with the meditations and seeing what I can manifest next. And coming to this retreat now has been, I've grounded myself even more in the work. I understand it even more. And I'm going to write a list on the plane back to Perth and see what else I can manifest and have a bit of a game with the meditations. And it really is literally, you just can do whatever you want in your life as long as you do the work. And I've done the work. Getting up in the morning and meditating. So I've set my alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning. I have Good Morning by Max, can't remember his name. That song is my alarm clock, so I jump out of bed and I dance and my dog looks at me and thinks I'm crazy. And I sit down and I meditate every single morning, and I do the breath is the first thing that I do, and that's phenomenal. That's just next level amazing, doing the breath. And then I do the morning meditation depending on how much time I've got, and then I start my day. So it's the discipline of getting up in the morning and doing the meditations and just committing. The thing is, you do the meditations, you're committing to your life and what you want. It's not like you're doing it for someone else. And I just love getting up in the morning now and seeing what my days, the days that I don't meditate, don't go that well. If I meditate every single morning, my days just fall into place and everything works out beautifully. I've had a taste of what's possible, and sky's the limit now.